Hello and welcome to Monin Park for a Little East Conference matchup between the visiting Rhode Island College Anchormen and your UMass Boston Beacons. The first of two single games between these two teams. UMass Boston will travel to Rhode Island College on the 4th of May in 2 weeks from now. But first, a look at today's matchup, and first we'll take a look at the all-time series between these two sides. It's been an interesting one. Rhode Island College and UMass Boston went back and forth through the first 22 meetings, tied 11-11. The Anchormen took a commanding lead with 10 wins and 11 tries, but then UMass Boston has turned it around. The Beacons 19-4 over their last 23 games, dating back to 2010, including 11 wins in their past 12. These two teams met 3 times back in 2019, with the Beacons sweeping the Anchormen, a pair of wins at Rhode Island College in the regular season, and a 6-3 victory in the 2019 LEC tournament. Let's take a look at some things to know about today's matchup. First off, UMass Boston has been really using their depth thus far. 32 of the 42 players on the roster have been used, including 14 pitchers making an appearance through the team's first 3 games. Rhode Island College is a different team away from home at Pontarelli Field. This season, they've outscored their opponents 72-45 in 10 home games. On the road, just 2-6. They've been outscored 61-31 in those 8 games and have scored 3 or fewer runs 4 times already. Actually, 2 or fewer runs 3 times on the road. It's only happened once at home. The Beacons have not really been able to build up their pitchers' arm strength due to a late start and some COVID pauses. And for Rhode Island College, it really comes down to the top 3 hitters in their lineup. The combination of Cameron Santier, Nick Dambra, and Raisin Cone have been phenomenal. Some of the team's other top returners have kind of struggled. And Rami Morel, the team's shortstop who has missed 1 game in 5 years for Rhode Island College, not in the starting lineup today. Our player to watch for UMass Boston, that's Craig Corliss. The Siena College transfer is off to a great start this year. 7 for 13, 3 runs, 5 RBI. He's had at least 2 hits, 1 run, and 1 RBI in every game. Today, he's the DH. We'll take a commercial break for the national anthem and be back with the starters and the defensive lineup right here from Monin Park.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
And welcome back to Monin Park. First, let's take a look at the lineup for Rhode Island College. The 2 surprises, Isaiah Rivera starts in front of Rami Morel, and Alex Martinez, the team's starting catcher, also not there. The top 5 guys in the lineup, well, they've been mainstays this year. Cameron Santier, Nick Dambra, and Raisin Cone, 3 of the team's leaders in average slugging percentage and on OBP. Nate Vigent has been a staple in the lineup all 5 years with Rhode Island College. Let's take a look at the Beacons defensive lineup. A surprise there as well. Ben Irvine, the University of Maryland transfer, who's led off and played center the team's first 3 games, not in the lineup. Chris Duco gets his first collegiate start in center. Thomas Q, his first collegiate start in left field. Played as a third baseman his first 2 years as the Beacons. And for UMass Boston, the big thing is the first collegiate start for Alex Amalfi. Amalfi, for UMass Boston, was supposed to be a starting pitcher for the Beacons as a freshman, which is not something you often see. but the Ashland, Mass native gets his start here in game number 4 of the season. He's going to throw hard. The Beacons have consistently clocked him at 92 to 94 with the fastball, a good breaking ball. He spent the summer with the Worcester Bravehearts of the Futures Collegiate Baseball League, pitched well with the team, an ERA of 6, but picked up a couple victories and struck out at least one batter in every outing. So this is a guy that UMass Boston is incredibly excited for. And he'll match up against Terry Murray on the other side, who is a second-year player in his own right. Rhode Island College has elected to keep all of their players as the same collegiate year. UMass Boston has moved everyone up a year on the roster. So I mentioned that a couple times. Some of Rhode Island College's juniors are in their 4th year. Some of UMass Boston sophomores are making their collegiate debuts. As we've got the leadoff hitter for Rhode Island College, it's Cameron Santier, and we are about to get underway from Monin Park. First pitch is just outside for ball 1. That one catches Cameron Santier, and it's a hit by pitch, something the Beacons really struggled with the other day, as UMass Boston hit 11 batters during their doubleheader sweep of Rhode Island College. Brings up Nick Dambra, who on the season is hitting .379 for Rhode Island College. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and that's outside. Sorry for some of the technical difficulties right now. We're a little bit short-staffed to start this game. Trying to pull double duty. There's a runner on first. That's Santier. Pitch is fouled off. And it's 1-1 here to Dambra. Nick, the junior out of Coventry, Rhode Island, out there in right field, listed at 5'10", 185. Pitch is a little bit low, 2-1. A good job from Nico Tides, who's behind the plate. Tides missed the Beacons opener last Tuesday against the University of Southern Maine. Back for the weekend, started game 1 and came off the bench in game 2 against Castleton. 2-1. The wind is blowing heavily from left to right. Could see some balls really cause the outfielder some issues today. That one's knifed over to the third base side. Tyrone underhands it. It's late. The throw to first is late as well, and it'll go down as a fielder's choice. And 2 on with no outs. Tyrone, I like the idea there, but unfortunately that ball was just hit slowly enough where he wasn't able to get either batter, and it causes the Beacons to be in a bit of trouble here in Alex Amalfi's collegiate debut. As Raisin Cone, the 6th-year senior and former Beacon, steps up to the plate for the first time today. Cone third on the team in batting average, slugging percentage, and OBP. Showing bunt, though, as Amalfi misses out wide. So 1-0 to Raisin Cone. Already a difficult start for Amalfi, who hit the first batter, and then a fielder's choice that did not go the Beacons' way. Throw just a little bit late. Zincone shows bunt, pulls it back. 1-1. I would be surprised to see Zincone actually try to lay down a bunt here. He is one of their better, not only average hitters, but has some pop out of the bat as well, despite his diminutive status, listed under 5'10". Joe's bunt, pulls it back. That is on the outside corner. 1-2 now. Amalfi's nickname in high school was Mr. Paint the Corners. And if you're going to have a nickname in baseball as a pitcher, that's a pretty good one. One and two, no outs, 2 runners on. Amalfi, a long look back at Santier, and Zincone's had enough. He'll step out. Jared Grosguth, the team's designated hitter, awaits on deck. Breaking ball, bounces up there, 2-2. Two and two, no outs. Top of the first inning, Cameron Santier was hit by a pitch on the second pitch of the game. And Nick Damber reached on a fielder's choice as the Beacons tried to get the lead runner. Tried to go for 2, unfortunately just a little bit late at both bases. Amalfi's 2-2 offering, and it's popped up foul, and we'll do it again. That is on the outside corner, strike 3. Mr. Paint the Corners, that's a huge first out as he's able to retire the 3-hole hitter, 6-year senior. And the Beacons get an important first out now, potentially 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. This will be Grosguth, the DH. Sophomore infield outfielder who's only hitting today out of Coventry, Rhode Island. 5'10", 190. Takes the first pitch up high. Amalfi trying to work his way out of trouble here in the top of the first inning. 1-0 offering, breaking ball on the outside corner. Seems like home plate umpire Kevin Coughlin is going to give a little bit of love on the outside corner to righties. That pitch to Zincone was certainly close, not just a bit off the corner. Mike Hinosa is our base umpire today. 1-1 pitch to Grosguth, swings through the fastball. And it's 1-2 now. Cal Perillo, the team's first baseman, awaits on deck. One-two pitch coming to the cleanup hitter. Another high fastball. This one's even higher up the ladder. And Grosguth swings through it. Back-to-back strikeouts after 2 runners reach. And it is 2 outs now. Brings up Cal Perillo. First baseman takes a breaking ball that missed, but it still catches the corner. 0-1. Amalfi spot, I think, was on the outside portion of the plate as Kaidi swung towards the outside corner. But able to catch the inside half, and Perillo was not ready for it. 0-1 pitch, fastball on the inside half, 0-2. Well, this is certainly a way to respond if you're Amalfi after that early hit by pitch and the fielder's choice. Bearing down, hasn't allowed an Anchorman to put the ball in play these last two batters, and now has a big lead, 0-2 ahead of Perillo. Swing and a miss. Amalfi strikes out the side, and that will do it for the Anchorman here in the first. We'll see the Beacons in the bottom half.
Cheer for the stumbles, the he shoulda had that's, and the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
And welcome back to Monin Park. UMass Boston already has their third batter of the inning up. It's Curtis Tyrone, the team's leading hitter in almost every statistical category. Tyrone is hitting .600 on the year with an on-base percentage even higher than that. Tyrone, .733 OBP, 6 for 10, 3 runs, a triple, and 4 RBI. He's got Chris Duco over at first base. A first pitch single up the middle. Terry Murray throws over. Gianni Zerilli was retired on a deep fly to center. Rhode Island College is playing deep in the outfield, and probably a smart idea because the wind is blowing heavily out, and it went from a gorgeous 75-degree day to cloudy. The ball's hit out the middle. This could be two. Vision gets a nice high hop. It's Rivera who throws it across. And just as Amalfi did in the top of the first, Terry Murray works himself in and out of trouble here in the bottom half of the inning. We'll be back with the top of the second here from Monin Park. It's 0-0 between the Beacons and Anchorman.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Alex Amalfi on for his second inning of work for UMass Boston. Freshman out of Ashland hit the first batter he faced, and then the Beacons unable to get an out on a possible double play ball that was just hit too softly, but followed it up by a strikeout looking, a strikeout swinging, and a strikeout swinging to get out of the frame. As you're going to see here, one of those strikeouts. See Amalfi just powering the fastball past Cal Perillo to end the frame. It'll be Nate Vigent, Joey Coro, and Isaiah Rivera, two of the three guys who just turned that 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. Vigent is a guy, if you're familiar with the Little East Conference, that has been around for a while. The fifth-year senior out of Coventry, Rhode Island, making his 136th career appearance. 154 hits in those 135 games. 315, 107 runs, 73 RBI, 32 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, and 14 stolen bases. As the 1-0 is just a bit inside. He's claiming he got hit, and I'm sitting right behind home plate. I didn't see it. Home plate umpire Kevin Coughlin didn't either. 2-0. It is interesting right now that Rhode Island College, already sensing how good Amalfi's stuff is trying to get that hit by pitch early. Vigent, who's a tremendous hitter, I mean, we just talked about it, a career .315 hitter, is really struggling in his fifth season. In making his 19th start in 19 games, hitting just 188, a .260 on base percentage, .241 slugging percentage, 13 for 69. He did snap an 0 for 17 streak in Game 1 against Western Connecticut State, as Rick is coming off a doubleheader sweep of their own. They defeated Western Connecticut State 7-1 in Game 1, followed by a 12-0 Mercy Roll victory. Vigent had a big-time 2-run double in the bottom of the 8th inning against Western the other day that doubled Rhode Island College's lead as it made it 4-1. They eventually scored 3 more runs in the 8th as Amalfi a 5-pitch walk, and for the second consecutive inning, a Rhode Island College anchorman is aboard to lead off. Brings up Joey Coro. Coro, who has moved up in the lineup, the third-year player out of North Providence, Rhode Island. Graduated back in 2014 from North Providence High School. Played at CCRI, where he was a tremendous hitter. Hit .329, 41 runs, 31 RBI in his 2 seasons. This season, he has struggled, making his 15th appearance, 10th start, hitting just .226, 7 for 31 with 7 runs scored and 2 RBI. He's another guy who had a long 0 for streak, 0 for 9, that was snapped on Saturday as he went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a triple in game number 2 of that doubleheader sweep. 0-1 here to Coro as Amalfi looks to work his way out of some early trouble. Coro fouls that one up, and it'll be well out of play. Almost makes its way over, and in fact, on a hop, makes its way over to the parking garage to our right. Parking garage went up almost simultaneously to Monin Park here on the shared land between UMass Boston and Boston College High School. As good piece of hitting there by Coro to foul it off behind 0-2. Isaiah Rivera, the shortstop, and David Iannucci are due up next as Rhode Island College benching Rami Morel, just the 3rd time in his collegiate career, just like Vigent, a 5th-year senior, that he has not started a game. Would be potentially just his 2nd time not playing in a game. Is taking off his Vigent, swing and a miss. Keide's throw is wide of the bag, and it'll be a stolen base and a strikeout. Amalfi's got 4 strikeouts to the first 7 batters. In fact, he hasn't retired a batter without striking them out. But Vigent is in scoring position with the steal. Vigent's 15th collegiate stolen base. He's now 3 for 4 on the season. Mike Holbrook, the Rhode Island College third base coach, is asking, we're going to take a look at replay because they're going to call Vigent out. He was clearly safe, so give him the stolen base, and then he must have come off the bag, and there are 2 outs in the inning. Very weird play. Not going to lie, I was looking away as that one's fouled in and out of the glove of Keide's for strike 1. We'll bring you that replay when we have it. That's a really good play from freshman second baseman Jason Sullivan, who must have recognized that Vigent was sliding past the bag. There's been no rain today, so it's not like it's wet turf, which sometimes you do see guys overslide the bag on wet turf. Today it's been a really nice day until about game time when we've got some clouds but no moisture. Count it 1-1 to Rivera, 1-2. Isaiah has not had the greatest season at the plate for the 2nd year shortstop out of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. He's just 1 for 16, although he has been able to work 7 walks, so a very good on-base percentage at .348. 4 runs scored, struck out 5 times, and he has struggled defensively. 5 errors in 15 chances coming into today, so that's something to watch for the Anchorman shortstop. 2-2 pitch with 2 down to Rivera, and he hits it out to right center, and that one's going to get down in front of Duco. So that could have been a run-scoring single with 1 out with the way Vigent runs. Instead, it's just a 2-out base runner and the first hit of the game for Rhode Island College off Amalfi. We'll bring you that highlight right now of the stolen base effort from Nate Vigent. And the throw was clearly late, so it's what happens after the fact. You're going to see Vigent in there in tons of time. But where does he come off the bag? He loses it, and we actually didn't hold on long enough, unless the only other option there is batter interference, and you see the home plate umpire coming out. We'll take a look at that one more time, and that's likely what happened. I was so focused on Vigent, didn't even think about what was going on with the batter in that case, Joey Coro. That first pitch misses to Iannucci over his head, a breaking ball that didn't quite break the way it was supposed to, 1-0. Very easily could be a batter interference there. Count is 1-0 to Iannucci, the true freshman out of Johnston, Rhode Island. Keide's throws down to first. It's not there in time as Palma couldn't find the tag. 1-1. Iannucci out of Johnston High School, 6 foot 150. won the Rhode Island Baseball Coaches Association Academic Excellence Award. Been the backup catcher to Alex Martinez this year, making his 5th appearance, 4th start. 2 for 10 on the year with a run scored and 5 strikeouts in 10 at-bats. He came off the bench in game number 2 the other day, went 1 for 2 with a run scored. His first hit since the team's opener on March the 20th, so almost a month in between hits for the team's backup catcher. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. So Amalfi looking to close out the inning. That one's low. Runner takes off. Tides was asking if there was a swing there from Chili. And it's going to go down as a wild pitch. So Rivera in scoring position with 2 outs and a 2-2 count for David Chili. Team's 9-hole hitter. Cameron Santier, leadoff hitter on deck. Amalfi looks the runner back to second. 2-2 pitch. Low. Full count. Amalfi already with 4 strikeouts in his first inning and 2/3, looking to close out the Anchorman here in the second. 3-2 offering, chopped down to the third baseline, foul. Tyrone was giving chase, but knew that one was going foul the whole way. Rivera over there at second base after moving up on the wild pitch. He is 1 for 1 in stolen bases. So, not surprisingly, decent speed for a guy who plays the middle infield. Rivera, a 2-time All-State player out of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, attended Pullman High School. 3-2 offering, popped up. This could be trouble because it's in the air. Duco has a beat on it. He's under it, and he makes the play. So Rhode Island College puts 2 aboard, but a strikeout, what we assume is a batter interference, and a fly out to center will do it for the Anchorman here in the top of the second. We head to the bottom of the second. We'll bring you the Beacons lineup, a look at the defensive alignment for Rhode Island College, and a look for the first time at Terry Murray.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Terry Murray begins his warm-up pitches here in the bottom of the second. First, let's take a look at the Beacons lineup. We've already seen the top 3 hitters in the lineup. Duco, Zerilli, and Tyrone. Craig Corliss, the DH today, the other Beacons big bopper in the middle of the lineup. Nick Palma, the senior first baseman. Steve Brookwell stays in the 6th spot. Nico Kides makes his second start. Thomas Q earns his first start of the season, first collegiate start in left after a big 2-run pinch hit double the other day. And Jason Sullivan, his 3rd consecutive start for the freshman second baseman. Let's take a look defensively for Rhode Island College. Only 2 changes if you're familiar with the team. The big differences, Isaiah Rivera and David Chili. We just saw them at the plate. Those 2 guys in the lineup defensively with Terry Murray on the mound. And let's take a look at Terry Murray, the second-year freshman out of King Philip High School, Norfolk, Mass. Native, 6'3", 215. Murray, as a true freshman, pitched once last season on March the 8th. 7 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 6 strikeouts, and no walks. He left with a no decision as St. Mary's out of Minnesota ended up winning that game 9-8. They scored 3 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th. This season, Murray's pitched pretty well. This is actually his 4th start of the season. tied for second on the team, but he's only pitched deep into the game once in those first 3 starts, as it's 1-1 here to Corliss. Murray's numbers, 1-1 with the 4.50 ERA, just 12 innings, which tells you not a guy who always goes deep. 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 5 strikeouts versus 5 walks. Opponent's hitting .238 against him as he nearly catches Corliss there. 2-1. Murray in his first couple appearances did not go deep. Against Roger Williams on the 20th of March, he made it through just 2 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned. Next 2 outings against Southern Maine and Eastern Connecticut as Corliss goes the other way, a strong piece of hitting, and he's got himself a leadoff single, just as the Beacons did in the first inning when Duco led off with a single. Murray went an inning against Southern Maine. That was a scoreless frame out of the pen as he came in behind Connor Davey, the team's number 2 pitcher, and then threw an inning and 2/3 against Eastern Connecticut State in a start. Came out early in that one, but pitched extremely well last Tuesday in a conference game against UMass Dartmouth. The first pitch to Nick Palma misses outside. Against UMass Dartmouth last Tuesday in a home game, he went 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, struck out 3, and walked 3 in a 4-3 conference win between the 2 schools that are closest together in the Little East Conference, Providence and North Dartmouth, Mass. Even closer than Boston and Dartmouth. This is a possible double play ball, but Vigent is going to have a difficult time getting both as Palma able to get there. Corliss had to slow down to avoid being hit, and also he's a catcher by trade, so not the fastest guy. So the Beacons avoid hitting into a second double play ball. And they'll have a runner on first here with 1 out for Steve Brookwell, who's in his second season with the Beacons, the senior who started his career at Villanova and then had a very successful stint at a junior college in New Jersey. Brookwell, an all-region player at Rowan County, South Jersey, Gloucester Community College, where he led his team to the NJCAA Division III national title game. They eventually lost that one to Cumberland County. Off to a slow start to his senior year, just 2 for 11, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI, 3 strikeouts versus 1 walk. Did have a pair of hits on Sunday against Castleton. 1-0 coming with Palma over at first base, and Brookwell takes it high, 2-0. Palma over at first base on the season has not attempted a stolen base, making his 48th career appearance. Not really a guy you'd expect to run much. Today he's at first base. We've also seen him at DH, and he plays some left field as well. Murray will throw over, and Palma in without a tag. Like these Rhode Island College uniforms. They're gold color, but it's faded a little bit with the maroon. Looks kind of old school. 2-0 pitch. Brookwell fouls it off down the right field line. This one will get well out of play with the wind. And it's 2-1. UMass Boston goes with their solid blue tops with the white unis, and quite a few guys, including Brookwell, with the high stirrups. That old school baseball look that most guys don't like to use, but you can see there Brookwell with the blue on the pants. That's actually his stirrup. Palma trying to get a big lead over there at first base, and that one's inside 3-1. Brookwell to be followed by Nico Kides, who's the only returning starter position player for UMass Boston from their 2019 College World Series team. The Beacons saw their third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, and right fielder, along with their DH, all graduate after 2019. And 3 more starters graduate in 2020, as the Beacons did not bring back any of their senior class from the 2020 team. Graduating starting center fielder Danny Brown, Nick Catraro, and Ryan McCormick. Here's the 3-2 offering to Brookwell. Hits it over the shortstop. Rivera backhand. Nice play. Finds Vigent. Throw across. Not in time. And it actually hits Brookwell, who looks like he was pulling up lame anyway. So that's a bad break for the Beacons in that it could have skipped past, and maybe a worse break as Brookwell clearly in pain as he was trying to beat out that double play ball. What a play by Isaiah Rivera. I had it marked down in my notes. Hey, Rivera has struggled defensively this year, and yet he just made a phenomenal backhand, and Brookwell clearly in some pain with that right hamstring. As we'll take a look at that replay when we've got it. The Beacons right now have the trainer, the first base coach, and head coach all checking on Steve Brookwell down the first base line. Take a look at this tremendous play by Isaiah Rivera. This is a tough backhand and almost a really good turn from Nate Vigent, the fifth-year senior second baseman. Brookwell is a good runner. Plays right field, has great speed. You see Brookwell, it's hit towards the third base side. Rivera could only get a couple steps. The good backhand play, quick turn for Vigent, throw across, and Brookwell beats it. The throw actually gets away, but Brookwell will stay in the game. That's a good sign for the Beacons as Keides steps to the plate. Keides hits it over to Vigent, and he'll go the short way to first. So the Beacons get a leadoff single for the second consecutive inning, but unable to do anything with it. It's 0-0 through 2 frames here on the Little East Conference Network.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Alex Amalfi getting set to face the Rhode Island College lineup for the second time around. But first, let's take a look around the rest of Beaconville. One other game going on later today. Lacrosse looking for their 7th consecutive win, spanning the 2020 and 2021 season. Lacrosse team coming off a 30-6 win over Castleton on Saturday, the most runs in program history. The softball team will be back in action on Thursday. They travel to Western Connecticut State for a pair of games after they were able to split with Castleton on opening day on Sunday. And the track and field team is set to open their season on Sunday. Still waiting for all the details on that one. We'll head back live and take a look at Cameron Santier. Santier, who was hit by a pitch on the second pitch of this game. Santier, in his second season at Rhode Island College, the freshman center fielder out of Bristol, Rhode Island, was a 3-time All-Division basketball and baseball player at Mount Hope High School. So a tremendous athlete. Center fielder takes it just off the corner, 1-0. He was an MVP in both sports and actually won the Gold Glove Award. So a really good all-around athlete. Did not see much time as a freshman. Rhode Island College played in just 8 games. He got 2 appearances, went 0 for 1 as he fouls it off, 1-1. Has seen a ton of action as a sophomore. Didn't play in the opener, but is now making his 18th consecutive start. Hitting .317 with a .462 on base percentage and .483 slugging percentage. Third in all 3 of those categories on the roster. 19 for 60 with 18 runs, tied for first on the team. 7 RBI, 2 doubles, a triple, and actually tied for the team lead in homers with 2. He has walked 14 times, which is tied with Raisin Cone for the team and league high. The 2-1 offering misses, 3-1. But he's also struck out 13 times. And he's a guy you really don't want to see on the base pass, as He has a team-leading 5 steals in 5 attempts. Ahead in the count, 3-1. Has already reached once on a hit by pitch. 3-1 offering, hit out to left center. This one will get in front of Thomas Q, the converted third baseman. And Santier is aboard with his 20th hit of the season and 20th collegiate hit. A leadoff base runner for the third consecutive inning against Amalfi, who is making his collegiate debut for UMass Boston. And one of our notes that I haven't talked about is the Beacons have not had a pitcher go more than 3 innings yet this season. Most of these pitchers are only at a pitch count of 55 to 60, so Amalfi right now trying to keep that pitch count low to potentially get into the fourth as his fastball misses high and wide. Right now in the mid-40s with no outs in the third, so he might match Tim Cianciolo and Dylan Ryan with 3 innings pitched. No one is fully warming yet for the Beacons, although there are some guys who are beginning to stretch. Santier with a big lead as there's a swing and a miss from Dambra. Dambra reached on a fielder's choice. Hit the ball softly off the end of the bat to the third baseman Tyrone, who tried to get the lead runner Santier and unable to do so. Rhode Island College put the first 2 runners aboard against Amalfi, who then struck out the next 3. Amalfi will throw over. Opponents have not had a lot of success stealing bases against the Beacons this year. Very limited sample size. But the Beacons have thrown out 2 of the 4 base runners that have attempted to steal on them. Rhode Island College on the opposite side, amongst the league worst in terms of keeping runners on. Santier takes off. Throw is again wide of the bag. And Santier actually came off. If that ball had been a little bit closer, Sullivan maybe actually that was Zerilli covering, might have gotten the tag. So Santier makes it 6 for 6, a team best, and he's out there with no outs and a 2-1 count to Dambra. If Dambra can pull this one on the right side, Rhode Island College will have a runner on third for the first time, and that's if the ball doesn't get through. Santier with his speed would likely score on any ball to the outfield. 2-1, no outs. Top of the third inning. 2-1 offering. There's a check swing, 2-2. Dambra clearly not happy with himself there as he was trying to pull back. Two-two. Runner on second, no outs. Amalfi's 2-2. Breaking ball right back at him. Bobbles it. Santier forced to go back to second. And Amalfi gets the runner at first. That's a big play from Alex Amalfi. If he's able to grab that, he's got a chance at Santier. But just the fact he knocked it down kept the runner from moving up. And he's able to field his position well, which isn't a surprise because Amalfi, during his high school and AAU times, not only was a great pitcher, but when he wasn't pitching, played some shortstop and outfield. So, very good athlete in his own right for the sophomore out of Ashland High School, who was a baseball and ice hockey all-star during his time at Ashland High School. First pitch swinging is Zincone, hits it out deep to left center. Duco looks like he's got a beat on it. He'll make the catch. Santier is tagging, and he's going to be in there in plenty of time. Doesn't even draw a throw. Zincone, who is known as a first pitch swinger, unable to get that one all the way to the mini monster out in left center. And there are 2 outs with a runner on third base for Jared Groskoff, who struck out swinging on a high fastball his first time up. Groskoff, who attended Coventry High School, a 2017 graduate, was an all-state player and made the Rhode Island All-Star game. 5'10", 190. Good breaking ball on the outside half. 0-1. His uncle, John Cianello, was actually a member of the Chicago White Sox organization from 1983 to 85. So, good baseball family. 0-1 pitch. High fastball doesn't chase. 1-1. Groscuth has taken a circuitous route to Rhode Island College. Attended CCRI as a freshman and sophomore. Missed his entire sophomore season due to an injury. Breaking ball in there 1 and 2. As a freshman, he was an all-New England shortstop at the Community College of Rhode Island. Then he spent his redshirt sophomore season at Division I Bryant University, that's right there in Providence. Played in 4 games for the Bulldogs. 1-2, swung on and missed, again chasing the high fastball. And now, as a third-year sophomore, because last year didn't count for any player at NCAA Division I, II, or III because of the pandemic for spring athletes, is with Rhode Island College. So his third school in 4 seasons, but he's still just a sophomore. Gotta love NCAA eligibility. We'll be back with the bottom of the third as UMass Boston will bring Q, Sullivan, and Duco to the plate against Terry Murray.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Terry Murray, out for his 3rd inning of work, has done a great job through the first 2 frames, has allowed a leadoff single in each of the first 2 innings, but has induced 4 groundouts, including a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play in the first inning. He's only allowed 1 hitter, that was Gianni Zerilli, to put the ball up into the jet stream, and despite hitting it hard out to center, Cameron Santier was under it. It brings, we'll see Thomas Q, the Beacons' 8-hole hitter and left fielder, Jason Sullivan, the 9-hole hitter and second baseman, and Chris Duco, the center fielder, here in the 3rd. Q, who's listed as a 3rd baseman, has only played at 3rd base prior to this season, but is out there in left field for the 2nd consecutive game. Came on as a pinch hitter and stayed out in left in Game 2 against Castleton. And the count 1-0. Hits it hard out to right center, and the Beacons have a leadoff base runner, maybe more. Q can fly. Santier makes the play. Q's going hard. Fidget the throw, not in time. Thomas Q showing off the PF Flyers. And the Beacons have a leadoff extra base hit here in the 3rd. That is a great play by Thomas Q. Recognizing the ball was tailing away from Santier. Knew he had a chance to get to and went hard the whole way. It was a good defensive play by the anchorman, but not much they could do. Rhode Island College expecting a bunt here from Jason Sullivan, the freshman. Q with a solid leadoff second. Sullivan, though, swings away. That ball's going to be hit out into center, and Q can fly. Santier's not going to have a play, and the Beacons have a 1-0 lead. Back-to-back base hits from the 8 and 9 hitters, and UMass Boston takes a 1-0 lead. So how about that? Q and Sullivan, 2 guys who were not involved on opening day, are really making a bid to keep these starting jobs. Sullivan, the freshman out of Wrentham, Massachusetts, now 3 for 7 collegiately. And it brings up Chris Duco, who's making his first start in center field and out of the leadoff spot, replacing Ben Irvine. Duco shows bunt. And he'll pull it back. 1-0, throw down to first. And Sullivan is back in time. Sullivan in very limited appearances. Again, just his 3rd collegiate appearance for the true freshman. Has yet to attempt a stolen base. Duco has great speed. He's a guy who could show bunt, put a bunt down, and still try to beat it out. Got that kind of speed. Has been used a lot as a pinch runner when he's not playing a position, and we've already seen him get a start in left field and now in center. Guy that Brendan Iger wrote is very high on. Sophomore out of Dedham, Mass. Attended Xaverian Brothers High School, so very familiar with Monon Park, one of the rivals of Boston College High School, who shares this field with UMass Boston. He was a soccer player, a wrestler, an indoor track and field competitor, and a baseball player, so very well-rounded athlete. On the year, 3 for 7. 1-1 as he's not showing bunt anymore. Takes it outside with the breaking ball, 2-1. Juco, 3 for 7 with an RBI, 2 strikeouts and a walk, has stolen a base. Started out in left field in game 1 against Castleton on Sunday, finished 2 for 4 with an RBI. Sullivan with a short lead over there at first base. Another breaking ball. This one catches the corner, 2-2. Yet to see a strikeout for Murray, who had just 5 strikeouts in 12 innings coming into today's action, but also has just 5 walks. So he's a guy who wants to see the ball be put in play, and he's seen good defense behind him today. 2-2 coming to Duco, gets a piece. Duco, during his time at Xaverian Brothers, the Catholic Conference All-Star, a freshman MVP, a varsity unsung hero award, and he won the Catholic Conference title as a junior. Sounds like he was very busy during his high school career. 2-2 count. The Beacons lead at 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. That nearly catches him. Sullivan's caught in between the throw to first, and that's going to be a stolen base for Jason Sullivan. The issue there for the freshman Ayanu Chili is that he had Sullivan caught off, but throwing behind him, and Perillo didn't realize he was heading to second. By the time they turned, Sullivan was already diving in. So Sullivan's got a single, an RBI, and a stolen base, and he's in scoring position for Duco with a 3-2 count. Murray looks him back, the 3-2 offering, hit over on the left side. That's going to get past a diving Rivera. No chance to send Sullivan there, but 3 straight hits from 3 guys who are looking to earn some more time. And the Beacons have a 1-0 lead with runners at the corners and no outs here in the bottom of the third. Good hitting as well there from Duco, just taking that pitch that was away and pushing it just past Rivera, who would have had a difficult play with the speed of Duco to begin with. Brings up Gianni Zerilli, who took the second pitch he faced and hit a hard line drive out to center. But if we can go to the up-top camera after this pitch, we can show you just how far back Rhode Island College is playing their outfielders, especially the left and center fielder. First pitch to Zerilli, and the Beacons are attempting a double steal, and Duco will be in there. Smart decision by Ayanu Chili not to throw. It's going to be a strike. As we'll take a look just how deep the left fielder, Joey Coro's about 5 feet off of the red turf that indicates the warning track, and Santier's pretty deep in center as well. The only guy who's playing at somewhat normal depth is Nick Dambra, the right fielder, as the wind is blowing heavily from left to right. Zerilli hits this one up into shallow center. Santier's going to have to come in. He's under it. Tagging at third is Sullivan. Tagging at second is Duco. Rivera's going to go to third. The ball gets away. Zincone unable to make the catch. I'm not sure if that caught Duco, who was using a pop-up slide, or not, but it's a sac fly. And Rhode Island College was hoping that Sullivan had left early. The appeal is safe, and the Beacons lead at 2-0 on the sacrifice fly from Zerilli, who's put the ball in play twice. Pair of flyouts to center, but this one a productive one. Duco moves up 90 feet, and the Beacons with a 2-0 lead and a runner at third with 1 out for Curtis Tyrone. First pitch to Tyrone nearly catches him, a hard fastball that was cutting inside. Tyrone in his first at-bat was retired on a 4-6-3 double play. Took a nice high hop from Nate Vigent and a good turn from the shortstop, Isaiah Rivera. Looking to pick up another RBI for the Beacons third baseman. Fouls it back. we had an interview that we posted today on the UMass Beacons YouTube page. We wanted to show it during our pregame, but had some technical difficulties. Tyrone is known as the old man amongst the Beacons squad. They joke that he's 35 years old. He's quite a bit younger than that, but he is a very veteran hitter who's one of the best on the Beacons team. A guy who does not strike out a lot. Tyrone this season has walked 5 times and is yet to strike out in 10 at-bats. Last season went 4 for 12 and had 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. He's behind the count 1 and 2, but he's very comfortable here, just trying to put this ball into the outfield or potentially the right side to score the runner from third. That one nearly catches him. 2 and 2. Tyrone, another guy who's taken a circular path to UMass Boston. Originally out of Waltham, Mass. He started his collegiate career back in 2015 at Patrick Henry Community College in Virginia as a pitcher. Popped up 2 years later in Boston as a Suffolk transfer, where he was a hitter but also pitched a bit. As Tyrone pops this one up on the infield, should be an easy play for Zincone, who's calling for it, and makes the out. So 2 down for Craig Corliss. Finishing the book on Tyrone, he joined the Beacons last season for his junior year and was a red-hot hitter. And now back for his senior year with UMass Boston. Could come back conceivably for 2 more seasons, although I have no idea how many classes he has left or whether he's going to pursue a grad school degree here at UMass Boston. Craig Corliss takes a breaking ball 0-1. Corliss, the Siena transfer, led off the second with a single through the right side and was erased on a 4-6 fielder's choice, trying to drive in the 3rd run of the inning. Beacons had each of the first 3 batters reach on a hit. Corliss to shallow right, Dambra coming in, and he'll make the play. The Beacons, though, able to score 2 runs, a double from Thomas Q, an RBI single from Jason Sullivan, and a sacrifice fly from Gianni Zerilli, enough to give the Beacons a 2-0 advantage through 3 innings.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Alex Amalfi will come out and become the first Beacon starting pitcher to go longer than 3 frames this year, as he will at least start this 4th inning. Part of it for UMass Boston is they're not sure who's available today after having to pitch 10 different pitchers on Sunday against Castleton, with a couple of their pitchers in isolation because of some COVID protocols who pitched last Tuesday. The Beacons have quite a few pitchers. Amalfi's the 15th different pitcher to take the mound this year for the Beacons, but they weren't sure which of those guys would actually be fresh enough, as they're still trying to build up their arm strength here with a slow start in terms of practices to the 2021 season. First pitch fastball is in there to Cal Perillo, the 5-hole hitter and first baseman who struck out swinging with 2 on and 2 outs in the first. Hard breaking ball misses outside 1-1, as the wind is actually whipping towards home plate, at least for the moment. 1-1 offering to Perillo on the outside corner with the soft stuff, 1-2. Perillo out of Greenville, Rhode Island. True freshman this season. Attended Pongansett High School, where he's all division in baseball. Chopper over the third baseman Tyrone. High hop, low throw, and Palma can't handle it. And that'll go down as an error on the third baseman Tyrone, who had more time than I think he recognized. Rushed the throw a bit, and it allows Perillo to reach. Fourth consecutive inning that the Anchormen have had a leadoff base runner. So Perillo aboard at first. The first baseman is a surprising 4 for 4 on the base pass this year. Tied for second on the team. 6'1", 150. Not a heavy guy. High fastball. Misses outside 1-0. Brings up Nate Bidget, who worked a walk and then was called out on a batter interference in the second inning. Bidget, a guy who has been hitting ninth for most of the season, moves up to sixth with no Rami Morel or Alex Martinez in the lineup. Pair of veterans at shortstop and catcher who get this day off today, or at least the start of the day off. 2-0 here to Bidget, as Amalfi looks to become the first Beacons pitcher to record an out in the fourth inning. He's first Beacons starting pitcher. 2-0 here as Amalfi has, just like a lot of other Beacons pitchers, struggled to have his complete control. One of the big takeaways from Saturday's doubleheader was just a lot of the Beacons pitchers who were pitching didn't have complete control of their off-speed stuff, and that really hurt them. A lot of hit by pitches, a lot of walks. Fastball misses. Thought that was 3-0, but everyone's content to move the base runners up. So an error in the third baseman and a walk. Second time that Bidget has walked today brings up Joey Coro. Coro struck out swinging and was called for batter interference back in the second inning. We're going to show you that play after this first pitch and show you just what Coro did to have Bidget, who had successfully stolen second base, called out. As Coro's going to show bunt, and he's going to get it down over towards the shortstop. Tough play for Zerilli, not going to have a play. That is a bad bunt that worked out really well. Coro does not want to bunt the ball that hard. If that's a couple feet to the left, the third baseman Tyrone has a chance for double play. But Zerilli, who is heading towards second base, because that's what he was supposed to cover, had to get behind the third baseman, and that's going to be a single for Coro. And the bases are full of Anchormen with no outs for Isaiah Rivera. Rivera had a 2-out single to right center in his first at-bat. Breaking out of an 0-for-7 slump. He's got another hit, and this could tie the game. Hard hit out to right, and throwing that one in. It's a good throw, but wide of the bag. And we've got a 2-2 game. Isaiah Rivera having himself a day. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, had a couple good defensive plays as well. And there's runners at the corners with no outs for David Iannucci. And the Beacons made a change. I'm not quite sure when, but Ethan Herrera is out there in right field. We saw Steve Brookwell pull up hobbling a little bit. So Herrera, who has already pitched in 2 games this year for UMass Boston, is now making his defensive debut for UMass Boston. Last season, appeared in all 4 games as a pinch runner, and he's a guy Brendan Iger is really high on, and going to get his chance today in a conference game, although every game the Beacons play this year is conference. Showing bunt and pulling it back is Iannucci. Iannucci flew out to center field to end the second inning. Now 3 for 11 on the year for the Johnston High School product. 4 consecutive batters have reached for Rhode Island College here in the fourth. We talked about those pitch counts for the Beacons pitchers, typically trying 50 to 60. Well, already Amalfi is at 63 pitches entering this at bat behind 2-0. And I wonder if this is just good hitting or if this is a little bit of Amalfi being a little bit tired here in the fourth. Showing bunt and pulling it back. It was high. Then the throw goes wide. Nico Kaides an error to allow the run to score. No advance from Rivera. And just like that, Rhode Island College has answered with 3 runs of their own here in the top of the 4th. And it is 3-2 Anchorman on the throwing error from the typically sure-handed Nico Kaides. Wasn't a bad idea. Rivera was far off, but the throw well wide of Palma. Three and 0 here to Ayanu Chili, who's shown bunt twice and pulled it back. Showing bunt here, just trying to force Amalfi to throw a strike, and he misses up high near the head. And that is a 5th consecutive batter to reach here in the top of the 4th. And I think I jinxed Alex Amalfi saying he was trying to become that first starting pitcher to get an out in the 4th inning. Faces 5 guys, unable to do so. Leadoff error, which, I mean, that really cost the Beacons in the frame. Followed by a walk, a single, a 2-run single, and his second walk of the frame. The Beacons will go to the pen here with no outs, 2 on and 3 in. Here in the top of the 4th, we'll take a commercial break and be back as UMass Boston is going to bring in their 16th pitcher of the season. It's Nick Lapori making his senior debut.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
The new Beacons pitcher is senior Nick Lapori. Nick, the senior out of Peabody, Massachusetts, 5'11", 190, making his first appearance since the 2019 season. It's the only season that he's pitched in a game, made 3 appearances as a sophomore, 0-0 with a 10.12 ERA in 2 2/3 innings. 8 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned, 3 strikeouts versus 2 walks, allowed 2 doubles. Pitched against really tough competition, though. Made his collegiate debut against the team the Beacons ended up seeing in the College World Series later on in the year, as he pitched against Webster through 2/3 of innings, allowed 3 hits and 1 earned in Florida. Then he came back and made his New England debut against another team the Beacons saw in the NCAA tournament, Western New England, who was in the New England Regional that year. In fact, played a game at Monin Park because of some weather issues. At the end of a blowout, he came in and allowed 3 hits and 3 runs, 2 earned against Western New England before making his final appearance of the year just about 2 years ago. Went 1 inning, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, 0 earned against Western Connecticut State as part of a 23-3 Beacons victory. This one's a lot closer than that. 2 on. No outs, 3 runs already in for the Anchorman, and the Beacons anticipating a bunt here from Cameron Santier, the leadoff hitter. Corners are in at first and third. Santier shows bunt, pulls it back, and Lapori is outside with the first pitch, 1-0. Santier today has reached twice, hit by pitch, and stranded at second in the first. Singled, stole second, and was stranded at third in the 3rd inning. 6th batter of the frame already for the Anchorman after the Beacons took a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 3rd. There's a very good breaking ball that took a lot of speed off the pitch, and Santier just be able to get a cue shot off the end of the bat to put that one foul. Santier is not going to be an easy guy to double off. Very, very good athlete with good speed, the center fielder and leadoff hitter for this Anchorman team. The Beacons just looking to get 1. We've got time asked for and given. Sun is coming out a little bit. It's been we had no clouds, all sun for about 2.5 hours before this game, but now sun's playing peekaboo behind the clouds during the first 4 innings of this contest. Really pops in behind the runner Rivera at second base, who tied this game at 2 with a bases loaded 2-run single to right. The Anchorman took the lead on a throwing error from Nico Kides, tried to pick behind Rivera at first base, and the ball went into right field. Rivera at second, Ianu Chile at first. He worked a walk that ended Amalfi's day. 1-1 pitch. There's another slow curveball, and it's just low, 2-1. We expected Lepori to pitch today. He was one of the few guys who was healthy and available, he and Amalfi. The third pitcher of the day, potentially, at least warming, is Boston Burris. I believe that's number 20. Burris listed as a third baseman / first baseman, but wouldn't be the first guy listed as a position player. And actually, I don't know if that's 20 or maybe 28, Cam Kelly. That's probably a little bit more likely, the sophomore righty out of West Roxbury. So could see another collegiate debut. That would be for Kelly, who did not pitch as a freshman during the Beacons' first 4 games. 2-2 here for Lepori, trying to get the Beacons out of a jam. 2-2 pitch, curveball, strike 3. Santier thought it was high, but Nick Lepori showing off that slow curveball that certainly is a change of pace from the heavy stuff that we saw from Alex Amalfi to begin this game. It's already the 6th strikeout for Beacons pitching today. First for Lepori. Then again, it's the first batter he's faced. There's the slider that misses inside to Nick Dambra, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning and then grounded back to the pitcher in the third. (1-0) fastball misses high and inside. 2-0. Lepori trying to get the Beacons out of a jam after each of the first 5 batters reached to start this 4th inning. An error, a walk, a pair of singles, and another walk. Amalfi, that's actually Lepori, who had a chance to pick off Rivera, but unfortunately the throw a little bit late. Beacons thought they had him as Zarelli was there well ahead of Rivera, but a throw just a little bit late, and Rivera back in time. He is having a great game already with 2 hits and 2 RBI, and has played some good shortstop as the Pawtucket, Rhode Island native gets a rare start ahead of Rami Morel, the 5th-year starting shortstop. Breaking ball, just a little bit low, 3-0. There is somewhere to put Dambra, but you don't want to put him on base with Raising Cone and Jared Groska, the 3 and 4 hitters, 2 up behind him. We'll see what Lepori is willing to give. My guess is that curveball. It's been his best pitch. 3-0 offering. It's the changeup, and it's high. So Lepori issues the 3rd walk of the inning for the Beacons, 4th overall. And the bases are full of Anchorman for the former Beacon, Raising Cone. Was a UMass Boston player in 2016 and 2017. Was actually injured in 2017, so he redshirted that year. Transferred to Rhode Island College for the 2018 season, and he's now in his 4th year as an Anchorman. First pitch to Zincone. That one bounces away, but not far enough for any advance. Zincone out of West Warwick, Rhode Island, 5'9", 180. Played in 22 games for UMass Boston his first 2 seasons. And today he's appearing in his 91st game as an Anchorman. 1-0 pitch. Fastball just a bit off the corner. 2-0. Rincon, coming into this one where he's 0 for 2, was 8 for 19 with 5 runs, 3 doubles, and 5 RBIs last 5 games. Red hot. 2-0 pitch. Misses low, and there's nowhere to put Zincone. The bases are full of Anchorman. UMass Boston has already walked 3 batters in the inning. This is a tough spot for Lepore, pitching in his first game since his sophomore season. First game in 2 years. 3-0 pitch. That one looked good, but it's just off the corner. Back-to-back walks from Lepore, and that will walk in Rivera, who had the big blow of the inning with the 2-run single. The other 2 runs have come in by way of an error and a bases-loaded walk, and that will do it for Nick Lepore. He got a strikeout of Santier, but walks the next 2 batters, and that'll bring up Garrett Grosguth, and he will face Cam Kelly, the Boston native, making his collegiate debut. We'll take a break and be back with the final lines on Amalfi and information on Cam Kelly, who's the third Beacons pitcher of the inning.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
The new Beacons pitcher is Cam Kelly, the sophomore righty out of West Roxbury, Mass. 6'1", 165, attended Boston Latin Academy here in the city. Was a Boston City League and Eastern Mass All-Star as he led Boston Latin Academy to the Boston City League Championship. Cam is the 17th different Beacons pitcher that has been used this year. And a lot of those pitchers have been making either their Beacons debut or their collegiate debut. It's a very young staff, and it's a staff that's learning on the fly. Not an easy spot for Kelly, who inherits the bases full of Anchorman, and already 4 runs in on the inning with the Beacons trailing at 4-2. He'll face the cleanup hitter Grosguth, followed by Perillo if it gets there. Beacons are 1 potential pitch from getting out of the inning. Bases loaded, you can get a double play in a lot of different ways. This inning started with the throwing error from Curtis Tyrone. 2 errors in the frame for the Beacons, not helping their pitchers, who have also walked 4 batters. First pitch from Kelly. Misses outside 1-0. Very long right-hander at 6'1". Third base, it's Ayanu Chili, who's the last batter that Amalfi faced. Breaking ball nearly catches Grosguth. At second, it's Nick Dambra, who would be charged to Nick Lepore, and raising cone at first with the RBI bases loaded walk. Grosguth, the 9th batter of the frame for Rhode Island College. 2-0 from Kelly, fastball high, and the Beacons are potentially threatening to give up a second consecutive bases loaded walk, as already the Beacons have some more stretching and even some jump roping out there in the pen as they try to get some guys warmed up. 3-0 pitch, fouled back. First collegiate strike for Kelly, and that's a big one. Again, if he can just induce a ground ball right here, Beacons can turn it. They would almost feel good about this inning because already Rhode Island College has gotten 4 runs on just the 2 hits. They could get out of the jam only down 2. You'd feel decent. Kelly's 3-1 offering. It bounces up there, and that is a second consecutive bases loaded walk. That is the 5th of the inning for Beacons pitching. And it'll bring up Cal Perillo as Rhode Island College sends their lead to 5-2. Perillo started this whole frame off by reaching on a throwing error by Tyrone, and he came in to score on Isaiah Rivera's 2-run single. Kelly's first offering to Perillo. It's in there for strike 1. Perillo today has struck out swinging and reached on an error and scored. True freshman came in hitting .241 with a .278 slugging percentage, and he's hit by a pitch. This has been a very difficult inning for the Beacons pitchers and honestly the Beacons coaching staff. Very young staff, and it's a young coaching staff behind Brendan Igerbrodt and second-year assistant Brad Fogel, who has some head coaching experience. Cal Berman is the Beacons' first-year assistant pitching coach. Fernando Burgos, the longtime ace of the Beacons, is the bullpen coach as these guys try to get the Beacons' young pitchers up to speed. 6 runs in on 2 hits. Rhode Island College with 6 runs on 3 hits and no errors. The Beacons with 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. So they're actually out-hitting Rhode Island College. And Kelly misses outside 1-1. Kelly, since he's come in, has walked a batter and hit a batter. '11th batter of the inning, and only 3 have put the ball in play. 2 singles and an error. 2-1 now to Nate Vidgett, who has walked twice, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind the 3rd walk and the count 2-1. Vidgett on the year now walked 8 times versus 8 strikeouts. And we're going to see Nico Kaides come out and talk to his sophomore pitcher making his collegiate debut. Not an easy spot for the Beacons as Gianni Zerilli, the shortstop, will join the conversation. A lot of their veteran pitchers who pitched in the opener against Southern Maine not available until this Saturday for UMass Boston. Your Tyler Arudas, your Mike Doherty's, even your DJ Lopes, who, while he's new to the Beacons, is a junior. Pitched 2 years at Massasoit. This is a very young pitching staff. 2-1 coming to Vidgett, and swung on and missed. Changeup fooled Vidgett, who was looking for an extra base hit, maybe more. It's the long half inning if you're Terry Murray, the Rhode Island College starting pitcher who gave up 2 runs back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Gave up 3 consecutive hits to give up the first run and then a sacrifice fly, but was able to keep a runner at 3rd with just the 1 out. Got to be feeling really good right now. 2-2, Vidgett hits it over the head of Sullivan. That'll easily score 2, potentially 3, as Perillo's going to head to 3rd, and he's going to be sent home. This one's going to get past Zerilli, but they held Perillo at 3rd. It's a 2-run double from Nate Vidgett. First extra base hit of the day for Rhode Island College, and they lead it 8-2 here in the 4th. An 8-run inning for Rhode Island College, and again, just 4 balls put in play. Perillo up to 3rd, Vidgett to 2nd. And it brings up Joey Coro, who has struck out swinging, had a bunt single to load the bases with no outs earlier in the frame. He was the third batter of the inning and scored on the throwing error from Kites to give Rhode Island College a 3-2 lead at that point. Infield is in here with 2 runners in scoring position and just 1 out, as Cam Kelly still searching for his first out as a collegiate pitcher. 1-0 is chopped foul, 1-1. Amalfi started the inning, Beacon's starting pitcher. Got the first batter to hit over to his third baseman on a high chopper, but Tyrone skipped it over to Palma, who wasn't able to handle it, and ever since it's been all downhill for the Beacons. Lots of walks, a hit by pitch, and another hit by pitch from Kelly loads the bases. Kelly has issued a walk, a pair of hit by pitches, and then a double over the head of Sullivan. And right now, I think we're going to see our 4th pitcher of the inning as Brendan Eigerbrodt heads towards the mound. He does have a pitcher warming. That's Jackson Snyder, who we saw on Saturday. That will do it for Cam Kelly. A difficult first collegiate appearance. Hopefully we'll see him back again in these next couple games and he can do better. Nerves certainly could have played a big part there. It's not an easy situation with the bases loaded. See if Jackson Snyder can do any better as the Beacons desperately trying to get out of this top of the 4th, give themselves a chance to get back into this conference contest. We'll see Jackson Snyder after he warms up as the Beacons trail at 8-2 with just 1 out here in the top of the 4th.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
The new pitcher for UMass Boston is number 36, Jackson Snyder, the freshman, listed at 6'4", 220, out of Durham, North Carolina, but he attended Chapel Hill High School, which is the home of UNC. So some interesting geography going on between those two places that are known for their colleges. Was a team captain as a senior, currently majoring in the sports leadership and administration program. Making his second appearance in 3 days, came on for UMass Boston in game number 2 against Castleton, was the third pitcher, allowed a hit and an unearned run, walked 1, struck out 1 batter, and he will come on in a tough spot. Keep saying that, but it's been a tough inning for UMass Boston. He's the 4th pitcher of the inning. Final lines on Alex Amalfi: 3+ innings, 3 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 5 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Nick Lapori, 1/3 of an inning, no hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Bases full of anchorman for Isaiah Rivera, who is behind the count 0-1, and Snyder's going to be happy with that being called a strike. It certainly looked a little off the plate from my angle, but Beacon's happy to be ahead in the count. This inning has been really caused in part because of their wildness, as Rivera, who had a 2-run single earlier on in the inning and scored, is up for the 3rd time today. 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles. Behind the count 0-2. You look at this inning, Amalfi walked 2, Lepori walked 2, and Cam Kelly walked a batter and hit 2 batters. So 5 walks and 2 hit by pitches versus just 3 hits. The 0-2 pitch nearly hits Rivera, who gets out of the way, 1-2. So 5 walks, 2 hit by pitches, and then you factor in the error. A lot of this damage has been done by the Beacons hurting themselves. Bases are still full of Anchorman. Beacons in at the corners, playing double play depth up the middle, just trying to get out of this inning. Haven't had an out since Cameron Santier struck out looking against Nick Lepori in a 3-2 pitch. That was the 6th batter of the inning. That is a high pop on the infield. They're going to call the infield fly roll, as making the catch is the second baseman, Jason Sullivan. And that is a huge second out, not only for Jackson Snyder, but for the Beacons in general. It had been a while. Each of the first 5 batters reached. Then Lepori was able to get a strikeout, followed by walk, 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 hit by pitch, double, hit by pitch. So 5 batters reached, a strikeout, followed by 6 batters reaching. And now David Iannucci, the 9-hole hitter and catcher, who's behind 0-1, is up for the 3rd time in 4 innings. He flew out to center in the 2nd, walked and scored here in the 4th. Oh, and 1 coming to Iannucci as Snyder tries to get the Beacons out of it. Good breaking ball, and that off the corner. That was one of the better pitches I've seen this inning. But Kevin Coughlin didn't like it. 1-1. Snyder certainly looks the part of a collegiate pitcher. Not only tall, but looks like he's got some power. 1-1. Hard fastball gets through, and they're going to say that's a foul ball. The third base coach, who's also the head coach of the Anchorman, Frank Holbrook, can't believe it, but Kevin Coughlin immediately calling for a foul ball. We'll take a look at the replay if we can get that replay for you and see maybe from the center field camera if we can see if there was contact. Couldn't hear any aluminum catch the ball there, but potential break for the Beacons. As if that gets through, it's likely, I mean, it should be another run. It's breaking there, and would have easily been scoring was Perillo. That is on the outside corner, strike 3. Jackson Snyder, the hero of the inning for the Beacons, comes in and gets both batters he faces, leaves the bases loaded. The Beacons had their work cut out for them, down 8-2 after 3.5 here, as Rhode Island College able to send 14 batters to the plate here in the top of the 4th inning and score 8 runs. Let's take a look at that replay on the play that Rhode Island College thought there was no foul ball. that kept the 9th run from scoring. It's Jackson Snyder pitching to David Iannucci, and let's see if there's any contact on this swing from New Chile as it gets away from Kides. Tough to tell. It certainly looked as if Kides would have made the play, would have made the catch otherwise, but Terry Murray, after what had to have been a 40-minute break, will come back with his team leading 8-2 after he gave up 2 runs. Murray's going to field this bunt attempt from Palma to throw over, and it's there in time. Palma trying to fool the Anchorman defense. He showed a little bit early, and then his bunt was a little bit too close to mound. If that's down the third baseline, Palma might have been able to reach. Not a bad idea from Palma, just trying to get an early base runner, but not able to execute. It's Ethan Herrera is the batter for UMass Boston. Herrera came on for Steve Brookwell, one of the team's returning starters. As we saw Brookwell beat out a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning, but was certainly holding his hamstring, didn't look 100%. Stayed in the game and stayed at first base that half inning, but we saw Herrera defensively in the 4th inning. Not sure if he came in the 3rd or the 4th. Herrera, the sophomore, 6'1", 180 out of Newington, Connecticut. Already seen him twice on the mound. This is his first appearance as a position player this season. As a freshman, appeared 4 times as a pinch runner. Scored a run against MIT. That gave the Beacons a brief lead before MIT handed the Beacons their only loss of the 2020 season in a 9-5 game. Herrera right back at Murray, and Murray has a pair of assists in the inning, and really good start for Murray after that long delay. We wondered, would he be a little rusty? Well, he's gotten a pair of balls hit back towards him. Brings up Nico Kides, still searching for his first hit of the season. Beacons junior catcher out of Stanford has it. Flares one out to right. And Kides, who came into today's contest 0 for 5 and grounded out to second his first time up, is aboard at first base for Thomas Q, who started off the 3rd inning with a double out to right center, was going hard the whole way and was able to score. And came in to score on a Jason Sullivan RBI single. So today it's been the bottom of the order that's done the damage. 7, 8, and 9 have 3 of the Beacons' 6 hits and 2 runs scored in an RBI. Murray's first offering in there for strike 1. Q out of Shrewsbury, Mass, making his first collegiate start in left field. Made a start last season at third base. He and Noah Motter, along with Curtis Tyrone, were all battling for the third base starting job. And he's been good for UMass Boston. Came off the bench the other day against Castleton and had a go-ahead 2-run double. Went 1 for 3 in that game off the bench. And now 2 for 4 on the year after he struggled a bit with the bat his first 2 years. Going 1 for 8 in limited time. There's a good pick, backhand pick there from Iannucci to keep the ball in front of him. Kides, a catcher, but honestly has decent speed. That ball had bounced away. We probably would have seen Kides try to advance. The junior out of Stamford, Connecticut, one of the captains on this Beacons team. 1-2 offering to Q, and he knifes that one out to right. This is going to be a difficult play. Vigent making an effort, not going to get there. Kides heads to third, kept in front by the right fielder as that ball was bouncing away from him. Damber did a great job to throw it out, throw out his hand to keep it in front. Otherwise, Q likely would have scored, or Kides would have scored. Q would have been at second, and the Beacons have runners at the corners with 2 outs for Jason Sullivan, the freshman second baseman, who had an RBI single to right center, stole a base, and scored in the third inning. 3 for 7 in his young college career. Freshman out of Rentham, Mass, who attended Bishop Feion High School. First pitch to him nearly catches him, 1-0. Sullivan, 5'11", 170. Played hockey and baseball in high school, was the team captain in baseball. He hit .390 in his junior season. He was maybe even a better hockey player. An EAC All-Star in hockey in each of his final 3 years. Chopped softly down the third base line. Tough play for Zincone to throw across, and a great backhand stab from Perillo to keep the Beacons from getting a run back. Ray Zincone, the former Beacon, teams up with Cal Perillo, and UMass Boston sees the deficit stay at 6 after that great play by the corner infielder. Jackson Snyder back on for the 5th. UMass Boston trails 8-2.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Take a look around the rest of the conference. There were 2 conference games yesterday. Castleton, who was in Boston until 9 o'clock on Sunday night, drove 3.5 hours back to Castleton, Vermont, then drove 3.5 hours to Western Connecticut State yesterday and swept Western Connecticut State, who then got on a bus today and made the quite shorter drive to Eastern Connecticut State. And Eastern Connecticut State, who is now nationally ranked for the first time this season and is atop the LEC at 9-0 and 18-2 overall, looks like they are on their way to another victory. It's not a conference game, as each of the other teams outside of UMass Boston is scheduled to play 4 games against every conference team. 2 count for conference play, 2 do not. But Eastern Connecticut State looks like they're on their way for their 19th victory in 21 games. First pitch from Jackson Snyder bounces up there after about 58 feet. It is Cameron Santier up for the 4th time in 5 innings. The leadoff hitter has been hit by a pitch, singled, stole a base, and struck out looking. He was the only batter to not reach in the 4th inning. They set 14 batters to the plate, and everyone reached at least once. Cal Perillo and Nate Bidget and Joey Coro, the 3 guys who led off the inning, each reached twice. But Santier was struck out looking by Nick Lapori. Final line on Cam Kelly. 0+ innings, a hit, a run scored, an error, and 2 hit by pitches. 2-1. Fouled off 2-2 as Jackson Snyder, who came out with the bases loaded and 2 outs, 8 runs already in the 4th inning. Got a pop up to second and a strikeout looking of David Iannucci to get out of the jam and keep the Beacons within 6. 2-2 offering. Breaking ball misses down low. Problem for Brendan Igerbrod is how does he get through these next couple of innings? He's already on his 4th pitch of the day. I'm not sure how many guys are available, so that misses low. Been a continuing trend for Beacons pitching, who struggled with the walks and hit by pitches on Saturday. UMass Boston struck out 32 batters thus far in their first 3 games. That's almost 11 a game, but they also had 22 walks and 12 hit by pitches, so that's over 11 free passes issued per game. And today, that's been a recurring theme. The Beacons have now had 7 walks and 2 hit by pitches with no outs here in the top of the 5th as Nick Dambra steps to the plate for the 4th time. Dambra pops this one up on the infield. With the wind blowing, it's going to be a difficult play for Sullivan, who backs up, and he makes the play. Dambra is retired for the 2nd time today. 0 for 3 with a walk. And it will bring up Ray Zincone, who made a great defensive play to end, well, teamed up with Cal Perillo, who certainly did his part to get the out, for a great defensive play to end the 4th with 2 runners on for UMass Boston. Zincone today is 0 for 2 with an RBI walk and a strikeout. First pitch to Ray is up high for a ball 1. Zincone is actually, as the ball gets away from Tides on the wild pitch and it allows Santier to move up. Then a little bit of a rut. Went 0 for 3 in Game 2 against Western Connecticut State, snapping a 4-game hitting streak in which he had multiple hits in all 4 games. So he's at minimum 0 for his last 5, which isn't a long streak for most guys, but when you came in hitting .356 and an on-base percentage over 500 at .506, it certainly means a little bit more. 2-0 to Zincone. Runner now in scoring position with just the 1 out. 2-0 misses outside 3-0. I wonder if they give Zincone anything to hit here or if they just give him first base with Jared Groskuth, the DH who has struck out twice and worked in bases loaded walk to the plate. Groskuth has not been as successful this year, hitting .298 as compared to Zincone's .356. Fastball at the knees on the outside half, 3-1. Three-one pitch, pops up again on the right side. Herrera is under it out in right. Santier is tagging. Herrera has to back up. He makes the play and no advance. As Herrera shows off that arm, he's able to throw an 85-mile-per-hour fastball from the mound. Two outs now with the runner on second for Jared Groskuth, the DH. Groskuth, who is 14 of 47 coming into today, with 10 runs and 14 RBI, along with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. He's yet to put the ball in play today. 2 strikeouts and a walk. Hit out to center, and this is going to be a difficult play for Duco. Twisting, turning, and he is not going to get there. 1 bouncer to the warning track. A 9th run is in, and Groskuth's got himself an RBI triple. That's not an easy play, especially here in the harbor, as that ball got up into the jet stream, and Duco, twisting and turning, had no chance to make the play. So a 2-out RBI triple, first damage against Jackson Snyder, and the anchorman who scored 8 in the 4th at a single run here in the 5th as Cal Perillo steps up. Perillo has struck out swinging, reached on an error by the third baseman to start the 4th inning and scored, and then was hit by a pitch, drove in a run in the 4th. So he has scored once as an RBI and has reached twice without putting the ball in play. Swings and gets just a piece of that one. 0-2 here to Perillo as Snyder looks to get out of the frame with just the 1 run. Beacons desperately need to keep this one as close as they can. 0-2, hit up the middle. Zerilli, long run, dives the throw across, and Palma able to hold on. Great play by Gianni Zerilli. We'll take a look at that one after the commercial break. Rhode Island College adds a run, but could have been 2 if not for the strong defense from Gianni Zerilli as the Anchormen pushed their advantage to 9-2.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Take a look at that great defensive play by Gianni Zerilli, who has really played tremendous defense at shortstop after struggling a bit last year as a true freshman. And this is a run-saving play. This ball's hit up the middle, not an easy play. Zerilli, first of all, able to make that play on a high hop, then gets up and a bouncer, but Nick Palma able to hold on and the stretch, and the Beacons able to get Cal Perillo by a step to keep Jared Groskopf from scoring. So we'll see if the Beacons can get any momentum from that play. It'll be the top of the order for the 3rd time for UMass Boston. We've already seen Cameron Santier, the Rhode Island College leadoff man, 4 times. Duco, Zerilli, and Tyrone as UMass Boston looks to get things going against Terry Murray, who had a brilliant outing last Tuesday against UMass Dartmouth. Allowed just 2 runs, 1 earned in 7 innings, picked up a conference victory. Looking to pitch his team to a 2nd consecutive conference win. UMass Dartmouth coming in 10-8, 4-3 in conference plays. That's a cue shot out to the second baseman Vidget. The throw is there to beat the speedy Duco. And the first out of the inning for Murray and the Anchorman. Duco, first time he's been retired after a pair of singles. Brings up Gianni Zerilli, who's yet to reach today a pair of flyouts, although the second was a sac fly. Scored Jason Sullivan from third base to give the Beacons, well, at that point was a 2-0 lead before 9 consecutive runs from the Anchorman, 8 in the 4th, another here in the 5th. Zerilli fouls it off. The sophomore shortstop out of South Glastonbury, Connecticut, 5'11", 175. Played basketball and baseball at Glastonbury High School. Won the Coaches Award and was a team captain as a senior in baseball. That is on the inside half, 1-2. Zerilli off to a hot start, hitting .385, 5th best on the team, 5 for 13 with 3 runs scored and 2 RBI. Stolen a base and is yet to make an error. Came in with 18 chances in his first 3 games. 1-2, swung on and missed. That's a great breaking ball for Murray. And Murray has really settled down as he picks up his first strikeout of the day after giving up 3 straight base hits to start the 3rd inning. At this point, he has retired 8 of the last 10. Brings up Curtis Tyrone, who was red hot, 0 for 2, possibly 0 for 3 here. If Vidgen can make the play, throw across, and he beats Tyrone by a step. Another quick, efficient inning from Terry Murray, and the Beacons suddenly don't have that many more outs to play with. Down 9-2 after 5. We head to the 6th It is all Anchorman here at Monin Park.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Top of the 6th inning, we'll see Nate Vigent, who made a pair of plays over at second base in the bottom of the 5th, step up for the 4th time today. Vigent has been a thorn in the Beacons side. Pair of walks and the big hit in that 8-run top of the 4th inning, a 2-run double as he was stranded out there at second base. But he has walked twice, scored once, doubled, and has 2 RBI thus far for a guy who was really scuffling until a 2-run double the other day against Westcon. Hits it over to his really high throw. Does Palma get his foot down in time? He does. So Nick Palma helping out Gianni Zerilli from avoiding that first error of the 2021 season, just as I talked about how good he has been defensively, nearly the broadcaster's curse. And we'll see Joey Coro step to the plate. Coro has struck out swinging, had an infield bunt single to the shortstop that loaded the bases in the 4th, and then was hit by a pitch to load the bases again. Only scored the one time as he takes a good breaking ball on the outside half. Jackson Snyder has been a godsend for Brendan Eigerbrodt here out of the pen. The 0-1 misses outside. After Nick Lapori and Cam Kelly, the first 2 guys out of the pen, combined to just get 1 batter, Snyder got the final 2 outs of the 4th, allowed 1 hit and 1 run in the 5th, and has now gone 2 complete innings and really helped out a Beacon staff that desperately needed some outs. There is a pitcher warming right now. Swing and a miss, and Joey Coro goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Snyder, who's pitched well. Given up just the 1 hit, the 1 earned run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Brings up Isaiah Rivera, who was a surprise starter today, starting ahead of Rami Morel, who's a 5th-year senior shortstop who had played in 137 of 138 games coming into today's action. Had started all but 2 of them, and Morel, get to see him today, but you really need to bring him on with the way Rivera has played. He has 2 singles, 2 RBI, popped up to short. He was the first batter that Snyder faced, and he's also played good defense at short as Snyder holds on, throws it over, and that's the first 1-2-3 inning of the day for Beacons pitching. Heads to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Can the Beacons get something going against Murray, who has been surprisingly sharp since coming back after the Beacons gave up 8 runs in the top of the 4th inning? Hasn't shown any signs of rust.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Take a look ahead for UMass Boston. A lot of schedule changes already for the Beacons. They had a game postponed last week against Western Connecticut State last Wednesday. That game moved to next Wednesday as part of a 2 and 5 p.m. doubleheader. This Saturday they were supposed to play Plymouth State. Plymouth State unable to play the games this weekend, so the Beacons moved their May 1st doubleheader to this Saturday against UMass Dartmouth. That will start at noon and 3. Next weekend, the Beacons are aiming to play Plymouth State on Sunday. No dates, times, or even location has been confirmed at this point. And the Beacons are still playing their regularly scheduled second half of their home and home against Southern Maine next Tuesday. So lots of comings and goings. You can follow all the updates on beaconsathletics.com and on all of our social media pages at UMass Beacons on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. 1-1 here to the cleanup hitter Craig Corliss, who is 1 for 2. Singled out to right center to lead off the second and flew out to right to end the third as he hits it hard, but right at Isaiah Rivera for out number 1 of the bottom of the 6th. Terry Murray is working incredibly efficiently. He had just 50 pitches through his first 5 frames. Brings up Nick Palma, who hit into a fielder's choice to the second baseman back in the second and was erased on another fielder's choice, and then tried to bunt to lead off the 4th, but Murray was able to get there and throw him out. 0-1 to the Beacons senior first baseman out of Peabody. Takes it out wide, 1-1. One pitch, fastball on the inside half, 1-2. Rhode Island College doing the brunt of their damage in the top of the 4th inning. 8 runs on 3 hits as the ball again is hit out to Murray. He's able to make the stab and throw out Palma, who's now been retired on back-to-back at-bats, 1-3. The Anchorman, 8 runs on 3 hits, 5 walks, 2 hit by pitches, and an error. 7 of the 8 runs in that inning were earned against the Beacons. Jackson Snyder's come on and worked 2 innings of relief, allowed just the 1 earned run, as it's Ethan Herrera making his second collegiate at bat. Came on defensively for Steve Brookwell, who looked like he was injured back in the second inning trying to beat out a possible double play ball. Oh, 1 pitch to Herrera. Swings through it. He grounded back to the pitcher in his first at-bat back in the 4th inning. This is wide, 1-2. Murray's 1-2 offering. Herrera swings through it. And another 1-2-3 inning as Murray has now retired 7 in a row. That's just the second strikeout for Murray. We head to the 7th. It's Rhode Island College 9-2. And the Beacons will be going to the pen for the 4th time today, as that'll do it for Jackson Snyder.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
The new pitcher for UMass Boston is Aiden McMillan. Made his collegiate debut in game number 2 against Castleton. Threw an inning, allowed 3 walks, but struck out 2 as he pitched the 5th inning of that Beacons victory. McMillan, 6'2", 195 from the left side out of Walpole, Mass. Attended Zavarian Brothers, so another player who likely played at Monin Park during his high school career. Played baseball and basketball at Zavarian, where he earned high honors as a student. McMillan will face 9-1-2 here in the 7th. Final line on Jackson Snyder, 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And honestly, just was huge for the Beacons to get out of that 4th inning in which the Beacons got just 1 out against the first 12 batters of the inning because of 5 walks and 2 hit by pitches. Outside of that, Rick had a single, a bunt single, and a 2-run double. McMillan catches the inside half. David Iannucci didn't like it, but as the catcher, he's just hoping he gets that call for his pitcher, Terry Murray. Also, it seems like Kevin Coughlin tightened the zone and has opened it up a little bit with this big lead for Rhode Island College. As Iannucci hits that one past Tyrone. Should be extra bases. Q's got a cannon out there in left, and he's going to get an in time to keep Iannucci to just the single there. Good defensive work. We do have a defensive change for UMass Boston. Michael Como is in at first base to start the 7th after Nick Palma had it bat in the 6th. They'll bring in Como, who's a little bit better defensively than Palma. Hasn't hit quite as well as the other senior, both members of the Beacons' large senior class. We're not quite sure how many of these guys will be back next year. They're all eligible to come back. The 2020 season does not count against college student athletes. They played in the spring season's eligibility, and the 2021 year, none of this doesn't count against any fall, winter, or spring athletes. Coyotes throws down, the tag is applied, and they say it's not in time, and I think the umpire missed that. Mike Hynosa, it looked really clear that Como had the tag down before the hand of Iannucci. Instead, it's 1-0 to Cameron Santier, who has reached 3 times, hit by a pitch, walked, singled, and struck out looking. 1 for 2 on the day. McMillan catches the outside half. Santier has scored once and stolen a base. Leadoff hitter for the Anchorman, who's up for the 5th time today. 1-1. Breaking ball fouled off. 1-2. Take a look at that replay after this next pitch and see just what kind of angle we had on that pickoff throw. As Como and the entire Beacons dugout that's on the first base side were up in arms over the fact that they didn't call Ainu Chile out at first base on that pickoff throw from Kaides. Breaking ball fouled off down towards the Beacons dugout, and let's take a look at that replay right now. You see Ainu Chile, and here's the throw. That's actually not the pickoff throw we were talking about. We wanted the pickoff throw from the catcher, not the pitcher. So Allie Crawford, who's doing double duty and doing a great job directing and replays. The ball's hit out the middle, chance for two. Zerilli able to find Sullivan to throw down and not in time. Santier runs incredibly well. And that would have taken a perfect throw from Sullivan, a perfect turn. So it's a fielder's choice. Santerre on the base pass for the fourth time today, but he's now 1 for 3. Ainu Chile erased at second, and it'll bring up Nick Dambra, who's still looking for his first hit. 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice in the first, grounded out to the pitcher in the third, walked and scored in the fourth as Santerre will take off on the wild pitch, and he's got second base. And popped up to the second baseman in the fifth. The runner in scoring position with 1 out. Cotties needs to readjust. And McMillan will go to work here against Dambra. It's surprising because in looking at this Rhode Island College team statistically, the Beacons probably were focused on not letting the top of the order do damage. There's a high fastball around the neck. 2-0 to Dambra. It hasn't been the top of the order that's really been the issue for the Beacons. Dambra is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run. Dincone, the 3-0 hitter, is 0 for 3 with a walk, an RBI, and a run. And even Santerre has just the 1 hit, although he's reached 3 times. Chopped over to Como, able to make the play, and he'll take it himself. The issue has been the walks. Just as we talked about on Sunday and through the first 3 games, the Beacons were averaging, giving up over 11 walks and hit by pitches per game. Well, just in that 4th inning alone, 5 walks, 2 hit by pitches, and an error, allowing 8 of the 11 base runners. The Beacons went through 4 different pitchers in the inning. Ray Zincone steps up to the plate. Zincone is 0 for 3 today, a strikeout looking, a fly out to center, a fly out to right, and worked a bases loaded walk against Nick Lapori to end his day. Also scored in the 4th inning. It's 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 offering from McMillan, fouled off. Really liked what I've seen from Jackson Snyder and even Eddie McMillan here. They've come out, they've worked quickly, they've realized, okay, maybe a little bit less pressure down 9-2. Just trying to pump strikes in. Beacons defensively do have the 2 errors, both coming in the 4th inning, but they've been playing pretty well overall as a team defense this year. That one will skip away from Kaides, bounced into the turf, and the Anchormen have their 10th run of the inning. See if that's the second wild pitch of the frame or if that's going to go down as a pass ball against Kaides. That'll go down as the second wild pitch against McMillan. A lot of wild pitch to move Santerre up to second and now to score after the ground out to first moved Santerre up to third. 3-2, 2 outs. Another run in as Rhode Island College scored 8 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. 10 unanswered runs to respond to the Beacons' 2 in the bottom of the third. Zincone, another foul ball. And we'll do it again. Three, two outs. McMillan shrugs off the first pitch, and it's inside to Zincone, who works his second walk of the day. The 8th walk for Beacons pitching, along with 2 hit by pitches. And remember, Brendan Igebro talking about the off-speed stuff and not being as sharp. Well, sure, that's something the Beacons pitchers will be working on these next couple days of practice before their doubleheader against UMass Dartmouth on Saturday. It's a talented group, no doubt about it. It's just a group that has struggled to fully command their stuff with a really limited amount of practices, a COVID pause that hurt them in building up the arm strength of their group, as that is inside, in and out of the glove of Kites, but given a strike nonetheless. 0-2 here to Jared Groskuth, who struck out swinging his first 2 at-bats, worked a bases-loaded walk and scored in the 4th, and then tripled to the wall in center. An RBI triple back in the 5th inning. 0-2 offering runner takes off, and it's foul back. Part of the problem for UMass Boston has also been how good Terry Murray has been. Coming off a great start against UMass Dartmouth, he's been just as good against UMass Boston. And that's 2 very good offenses. McMillan misses wide. 2-2. The Beacons lacrosse game just underway. You want to... If you're a big-time UMass Boston athletics fan, or not just of the baseball team, open up the live stats or even open up the video of that one and just mute one of them, preferably the lacrosse game. Hope you're enjoying the commentary here at Baseball. My name is Seth Dorensky, bringing you the action. The lacrosse team in an early hole, down 3-2 late in the first quarter as the Beacons look to move to 3-0 in conference play, 3-0 overall. They played just one non-conference game against Little East Conference affiliate Mass Maritime. 1-2 runner picked off. Como's throw down to second. It's high, and not sure they would have had him either way. Go down as a stolen base for Ray Zincone. Como really was put in a difficult spot because there really was late covering. Had to wait. Throw was high. I don't know if they would have gotten Zincone even with the perfect throw. Already 1 run in. McMillan trying to stop the bleeding right here. Breaking ball swung through and missed. McMillan, his first strikeout of the day. We're through 6.5. The Beacons trail it 10-2 here at Monin Park.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
7, 8, 9 for UMass Boston. Kites, Q, and Sullivan. This has been a productive part of the lineup for UMass Boston. Kites 1 for 2, Q 2 for 2 with a run scored, and Jason Sullivan is 1 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI. Really done most of the damage against Terry Murray, who has scattered 7 hits and 2 earned runs through the first 6 innings. Murray stunningly just at 61 pitches through those 6 frames. Kites swings and misses that inside breaking ball. Murray's worked really well with Ianu Chili today. Freshman backup catcher as Kites hits it out to center. Coming in on it is Dambra. Then he takes a couple steps back. That's actually Santier in center. And Murray able to retire the 8th consecutive batter. He's been incredibly calm since his team gave him a 8-run lead. Retired the first 2 batters of the bottom of the 4th. Gave up back-to-back singles, but then was able to get out of it on a nice play from his corner infielders, and since then has not allowed a hit the last 2 1/3 innings. Thomas Q takes a change up on the outside corner, 0-1. Q was 2 for 2 today. Doubled to right center and scored in the 3rd. Singled out to right to put runners on the corners in the 4th. The 0-1 offer to Q, hits it out to right again. This one is playable for Dambra deep, and it's going to get over his head, and that's going to be bouncing off the wall. Q is going to stop at second. He's 3 for 3 with 2 doubles. I don't know what has gotten into Thomas Q during the pandemic, but he is a much more confident hitter than the last time we saw him. Q, who came on as a pinch hitter the other day against Castleton and had a 2-run double, now has 3 doubles in 6 at-bats this season. He's 4 for 6. And he's in scoring position here with 1 out for Jason Sullivan. He's having a pretty good year of his own. He's 4 for 8. Sullivan takes the first pitch fastball. Sullivan singled to right center to drive in Q in the 3rd. Stole a base and scored on a sacrifice fly from Gianni Zerilli, and then retired on a really good play from Ray Cone at 3rd base to end the 4th with 2 runners on. 0-1 pitch. The second baseman hit hard up the middle. Rivera able to make the play. It'll move up Q to 3rd base. And the toughest part about that play is it nearly caught the umpire. So hit hard, but Rivera makes the play, and it'll put Q at 3rd base with 2 outs for Chris Duco, the sophomore leadoff hitter and center fielder. Duco singled his first time and second time up before grounding out to lead off the 5th. Now 4 for 9 on the year. Hits it over to Rivera, will make the play. And the Beacons put another runner in scoring position, but unable to do anything with it. We head to the 8th. Terry Murray is rolling, and so are the Anchormen. It is 10-2 Rick through 7 innings.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Top of the 8th inning, it'll be Perillo, Vigent, and Coro for the Anchormen, 5, 6, and 7. First one bounces up there. Perillo on the day, still looking for his first hit. He has reached twice on an error by the third baseman and a hit by pitch. Actually drove in a run. He also struck out swinging and grounded out on a really great play by Gianni Zerilli to end the 5th inning. 2-0 to Perillo. Make it 3-0 as the fastball misses just low. Aiden McMillan on for his second inning of work. Gave up a single, a walk, and a run, along with a strikeout in the 7th. 3-1. 3-1 to Perillo, swung through, 3-2. McMillan, another one of those guys who's making his second appearance of the season. Snyder, who pitched Sunday in Game 2, went 2 1/3 innings, and now McMillan. And these are two young arms who look like they might be guys who Brendan Eigerbrod has a lot of trust in. Swung through, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for McMillan, who had 2 strikeouts and 3 walks in a clean inning the other day. Beacons have made another defensive change. It's Ryan Leung in at second base for Jason Sullivan, who was retired in that last half inning. It looks like everyone else has stayed the same. So the Beacons have had to make changes, had to make an injury change in right. They've also switched out the first baseman and second baseman after Palma and Sullivan's last at-bats. Brings up Nate Vigent, who walked his first 2 times up and then had a 2-run RBI double to give Rhode Island College a 8-0 lead. It was the only extra base hit of that 8-run 4th inning. One of just 3 hits overall. 1-1 to the 5th-year senior out of Coventry, Rhode Island, playing in his 136th career game. Meanwhile, Aiden McMillan is pitching in his second. A little bit of a difference, although McMillan looks good in his first 2 collegiate appearances, and he's ahead on the senior second baseman, 1-2. It's a very weird year, and it's not going to get any more normal with some guys coming back for 6th and 7th years if they go for a grad degree, as that is swung through and missed. 3 straight strikeouts now for McMillan. But you could be seeing players who are in their 6th or 7th year of college next year. There's already a player at Southern Maine who's in his 6th year, who are playing in their 6th or 7th year against a true freshman who just graduated college. And that's the equivalent of a guy who maybe comes out of college after his freshman year, who is playing in low A ball, all of a sudden playing someone who is maybe in AA or AAA because they have that 4 or 5 or 6 years of experience. Now, they're all Division III players, but certainly there's a lot to be gained by playing 4 or 5 years and getting strength and conditioning. That ball is clubbed out to left, bounces off the mini monster, and that's going to be a 2-out double for Joey Coro, his second hit of the day. Good play from Thomas Q out there in left. I've wondered just kind of how much he's practiced out there in the outfield after exclusively playing as a backup shortstop / third baseman his first couple years, but clearly a pretty gifted athlete, and with the way he's hitting, you got to keep in the lineup. Perfect 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and a run scored. Breaking ball catches the inside half, 0-1 to Rivera, who he's had himself a great day. 2 for 4, pair of singles, a 2-run single, to tie the game in the 4th when the Beacons were leading 2-0 at that point. 0-1 catches the outside corners. That corner is kind of expanded with the lead ballooning as well for Rhode Island College. Rivera in his second year, he was the 2019 Divisional Player of the Year at Tolman High School, making just his 5th collegiate start. Came in with one hit this year, but he had 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats. In fact, he came in with 2 collegiate hits in 18 at-bats, and he's 2 for 4 on the day. His stats today aren't eye-popping, but you could easily make an argument that he's been the Rhode Island College position player of the game. Terry Murray has certainly had the best game of any anchorman. Cruised since giving up those 2 runs in the bottom of the third. Certainly didn't hurt that his offense came right back and gave him 10 runs in a row, 8 of them in the next half inning. Oh and 2 with 2 outs. The runner at second is Coro. 0-2 pitch, foul down the first base line. Rivera came into today's action 0 for his last 7. The only hit came back on the 26th of March against New England College, so it's been almost a month since he's had a hit. Well, granted, it's only 7 at-bats, but it's a long time between hits to have such a impactful day. I was surprised by the lineup look with no Alex Martinez or Rami Morales. That's a wild pitch. Gets away from Nico Kides and moves Coro up 90 feet. Third wild pitch in 2 innings for Aiden McMillan. But it certainly worked out. Ainu Chile has reached twice and scored. And Rivera's had an even better day. So a really good day from those 2 freshmen for the Anchorman. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball in there, strike 3. Aiden McMillan, 2 innings of work, 4 strikeouts. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Beacons are going to rally. They need to start it very, very soon. They trail 10-2 here on the Little East Conference Network and the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Two, 3, 4 for UMass Boston to start the 8th inning against Terry Murray, who, man, what a find for Rhode Island College. The number 3 pitcher behind Tyler Shemick and Connor Davey has pitched really well. This is his 4th start, but just the 2nd time he's gone deep into a game. He went 7 1/3 last week, and he comes into this 8th inning with just 70 pitches, so no reason he couldn't go the full 9 today. Ahead of Gianni Zerilli, 0-1. Zerilli has flown out to center twice and struck out swinging once, as that bounces past Ainu Chile. Now, Zerilli's second at-bat was a sacrifice fly to center that plated Jason Sullivan. So, with that, Zerilli picking up RBI number 3 on the year. That is on the outside corner 1 and 2. Zerilli didn't like it, but one of the big things at this point is the zone is just expanded. And the batters have to pick up on that, as Kevin Coughlin's been consistent in the expansion of the zone. 1-2, popped up to right. Dambro with the long run, and he's actually going to make the play right in front of Santier as that ball got up into the wind and flew it significantly further to right center than I think Dambra expected. The Beacons have another lefty up in the pen, would be their sixth pitcher of the day, as A.D. McMillan's gone 2 frames. The lefty warming up, that looks to be John Mulry, another one of those pitchers who pitched in Saturday's doubleheader sweep of Castleton. 1-0 to Curtis Tyrone, who's looking for his first hit of the day. 0 for 3 with a pair of groundouts to second and a pop-up to the shortstop. This one is hit high. Going back on it is Santier. Long run, and he is not going to get there. That hits off the top of the wall, and they're going to say it's a home run. The home plate umpire is signaling. No one else is stopped, and Curtis Tyrone has the Beacons' first home run of the 2021 season. He had a tremendous batting practice earlier on today, and that apparently caught one of the pipes that are supposed to hold up the batter's eye behind center field, and it gives the Beacons their first run since it was 2-0 in the third. We will take a look at that replay and see. At minimum, it's a triple, as Mike Holbrook wants the home plate umpire to talk to the base umpire. And we'll see what this conversation is. The home plate umpire, Kevin Coughlin, was emphatic in saying it's a home run. Base umpire never made any indication. It hit up very high up the fence if it didn't get out. There's the pads, and then there's some wrapping that's supposed to go up to, I think it's about 10 to 15 feet, right where our center field camera is. And then there's poles behind them. It bounced hard off of something, but hard to tell. We'll bring that highlight to you right now, and we'll see just how much we can see from our camera all the way behind home plate. Let's see how Sarah St. Cyrin did, a member of our women's basketball team. So you see, going back is Santier, and this one is going to hit. It looks like it hits the pole. I think they actually made the right decision there. That should be a home run. That looked, the way it bounced back, as if it bounced off of metal rather than plastic. That's my opinion. We'll take a look one last time, see if we can slow it down just when it actually hit. But at minimum, Curtis Tyrone's got himself a triple. I think he's got himself a home run. The ball is hit out there, and you see Santier looking. And that hits off the top of the wall. I'm being told by our center field camera operator, Katie Wilbert, that it was over the wall and bounced back. She's maybe 12 feet away from it. Brendan Eigerbrodt right now is having a discussion with the base umpire, Mike Hinosa, saying, these are the ground rules. Right now, Curtis Tyrone has a home run. They might put him back at third base. Long conversation going. Originally rolled a home run, now rolled a triple. The Beacons dugout all talking about what they think it should be, and Curtis Tyrone is going to be told that you get the first 270, but you don't get that home run. The Beacons still searching for home run number 1 of the season, but he's at third base with his first hit of the day, and I believe it's his first triple of the season. Tyrone had a triple last year, and he's got a triple this year. He actually has 2. The Beacons have 2 triples on the year, and Tyrone has both of them. He still thinks that he should have it the first home run of the year for the Beacon. Brings up Craig Corliss, the cleanup hitter, who is 1 for 3. A single to right, a fly out to right, and a liner back to the shortstop. He'll look at minimum to drive in Tyrone here with the Beacons' third run. The 0-1 breaking ball, 0-2. O2 offering coming from Murray, and Corliss able to foul it off. Probably been the longest inning for Murray of the day with that long break. Not that anything has really seemed to fluster him. 0-2 with the runner at third and one out. Corliss swings through it. And that is out number 2, as we'll see Michael Cuomo step up to the plate for the first time today. Cuomo came in defensively in the top of the 7th for Nick Palma, who finished the day 0 for 3. And Cuomo, the senior out of Andover, Mass, steps up for the first time, 2 for 7 on the year with a run scored and 2 RBI. First pitch swinging, fouls it off. Cuomo played football and baseball at Andover High School. An MVC All-Star, making his 23rd collegiate appearance. 0-1 offering, hits it over to the left side. Raising cone, Fields throws and gets Como by a step. So the Beacons thought they had a run, but after a lengthy conversation, Tyrone back to third and the Beacons unable to drive him in. It stays 10-2 as we head to the 9th here at Monin Park.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Aiden McMillan staying on for his third inning of work. Came on in the 7th. Has walked one, allowed a double, a single run scored, and struck out 4 of the 8 batters he's faced thus far. One change for the Beacons. Curtis Tyrone's day is done after his triple in the bottom of the 8th. He's replaced by Aiden Blake, sophomore out of Lakeville, Massachusetts. Blake coming on for his 4th appearance, second time off the bench this year. McMillan will face David Iannucci, lone batter he's yet to face in the Anchorman lineup to start the 9th. McMillan has now struck out 6 batters in 3 innings of collegiate work. That's fouled off. He's also walked 4 batters, so that's something he's going to work on, but only the 1 walk today, along with 2 wild pitches. Oh, 2 coming to Iannucci, and that is just off the corner, 1-2. After 6 o'clock here on the East Coast. Rhode Island College looks to move to 5-3 in conference play. The Beacons likely falling to 2-2 on the season and 2-2 in the Little East. Beacons back in action on Saturday with a noon doubleheader against UMass Dartmouth. Rhode Island College, well, they will be back in action this weekend with 2 at home against Castleton on Friday. Those are the conference games at noon and 3. Then they'll take the long drive up to Castleton on Saturday also noon and 3. These two teams will face off again on Tuesday, May 4th in Providence. And I would expect UMass Boston will have to see more of Terry Murray, who was giving them fit in today's contest. The Beacons have hit really well in their first 3 games, despite not having a lot of live at-bats. Only got the 1 intra-squad game last Monday, but they have been stymied by Murray thus far. That's low. Full count coming to Ianu Chile, who has flown out to center, walked and scored, struck out looking, and singled thus far today. Not a bad day for the backup catcher out of Johnston, Rhode Island, who pops this one up. This should be playable. Right in the middle of the infield, Gianni Zerilli takes charge, and he'll make the play for out number 1 at the top of the 9th. Really like the way that Zerilli has played this year defensively. Looks calmer and more confident, manning the shortstop position that for the last 3 years of his career, Charlie Hughey was the captain of the Beacons infield. Hughey was a tremendous shortstop, but also just a tremendous athlete. Came in, was the Beacons' backup catcher, then won the starting job at first base as a freshman when the Beacons' starting first baseman went down, and played his last 3 years at shortstop. 1-1, 1 out. Cameron Santier sees a breaking ball that flipped out of the hand of McMillan. Santier is stepping up for the 6th time today. He has singled, walked, been hit by a pitch, reached on a fielder's choice, and struck out looking. So he's reached 4 of the 5 times, but is only 1 for 3 on the day. 3-1 coming to Santier, who has scored twice. Now scored a team-high 20 times, and he's aboard for the 5th time. McMillan issues his second free pass in 2 1/3 innings. He and Snyder have been real positives today for UMass Boston. Snyder gave up a hit, an earned run, and a walk in 2 1/3 innings and got the Beacons out of that atrocious 4th inning by getting the 2 batters he faced with the bases loaded, not allowing further damage. And McMillan has come on and allowed just the 1 run. That scored on a wild pitch on 1 hit, trying to go 3 full innings. Really saved the Beacons bullpen that used a ton of guys the other day. And honestly, I mean, I say bullpen, but it's just difficult to know after playing 2 games on Sunday, in which a lot of guys pitched, how many of these guys are fully healthy and fully ready to go. Beacons do have a pitcher warming. It's Don Mulray. I'm not sure if they're just trying to give him a bullpen session, as that's line past the first base coach foul, to get him some work, or if they're actually potentially going to go to Mulray. Not sure how much McMillan has left in the tank. Aiden, who's pitched well, listed at 56 pitches. That is a lot of pitches this early in the season, especially for a guy who might only be used as a reliever. Breaking ball in there, strike 2. Got ahead of myself. 1-2 with 1 out to Nick Dambra. Dambra still looking for his first hit. He is 0 for 4 today with a walk and a run scored. 1-2 pitch, swung on, and that's fouled off the glove of Cadiz. Bounces out. Dambra reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st, grounded back to the pitcher in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 4th, popped up to the second baseman, and grounded out to the first baseman. Look at the scoreline, and it looks like it should be a much closer game. Is taking off for second is Santier, and he's got himself another stolen base. They're really unable to hang on. I think Santier was in there either way. As for Santier, that's his that's his second steal of the day. He's also moved up to second on 2 wild pitches and took home on a wild pitch. Now 7 for 7 on the base pass. Rhode Island College only has 8 hits. 10 runs on 8 hits and no errors. The Beacons, 2 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. The issue hasn't actually been the errors, though. When you look at UMass Boston, they've been able to strike out 12 batters, which is great, but they've also issued 9 walks and hit 2 other batters, and most of that damage happened in the 4th inning when Rhode Island College scored 8 runs on just the 3 hits. 3-2 pitch coming to Dambra, and it's low, another walk. So McMillan with back-to-back walks, his second and third of the outing. I don't think we're going to see any action. This is McMillan's to finish out. He struck out 4, walked 3. Now has 6 walks and 6 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings as a collegiate pitcher. Brings up Raising Cone, still looking for his first hit. He's reached twice, pair of walks, an RBI, a stolen base, and is 0 for 3 on the day. Strikeout looking, a fly out to center, a fly out to right, as we'll see Nico Kides come out. Brendan Eigerbrodt is going to come as well, and I think, they're going to go to Mulry. I think this is just pitch count rather than really McMillan struggling. Don't want to overtax McMillan's arm this early in the season. We'll take a commercial break and be back with the numbers on the new pitcher. John Mulry is the Beacons' 7th pitcher of the day, as they will look, or 6th pitcher of the day, as they will look to close out this top of the 9th and then maybe come up with a massive rally in the bottom half of the inning.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
The line on Aiden McMillan as it stands, 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, could become as many as 3 and 3. Struck out 4, walked 3, and it'll be John Mulry looking to close out the anchorman here in the 9th. The sophomore out of West Roxbury attended Catholic Memorial, where he was a Catholic League All-Star. Mulry, another one of those guys who made his collegiate debut against Castleton in game number 2 the other day. Mulry went an inning, allowed 2 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout, and hit 2 batters in what was an eventful inning of work as he came in and pitched in the 5th inning when Castleton scored 4 runs to take a 4-3 lead. Looking for a better result here as the sophomore lefty inherits not only 2 base runners, but a 1-0 count to the 3-0 hitter Raising Cone. 2 on after back-to-back walks with 1 out. And Zincone still looking for that first hit for the former Beacon, who spent 2 years in UMass Boston Beacon Blue before spending the last 4 as an anchorman. Runner at second is Santier. Dambra over at first. First pitch from Mulry misses up high and outside, 2-0. Update from Mansfield, Connecticut. Beacons lacrosse team trails Eastern Connecticut State 5-3 at halftime. Looking for their first ever win over the Warriors, 0-26 all time. Would be a big win for UMass Boston if they can get this victory over Eastern. Got a game against Western on Thursday. They can win both of those. They're in the driver's seat for at least the 2 seed. Beacons, who have just a 3-week season on the lacrosse side, 4 weeks for both baseball and softball, play Keene State, the defending champions and preseason favorites, on Senior Day next Friday as Mulry hits in cone, reaches for the 3rd time today without putting the ball in play. And the bases are full of Anchorman for the cleanup hitter Jared Grosguth. Grosguth struck out swinging his first 2 times up, worked a bases loaded walk in the 4th and scored, had an RBI triple to center in the 5th and struck out swinging, trying to avoid the golden sombrero. First pitch up high, 1-0. Offering, hit over to the shortstop. Zerilli, chance for 2. Finds Leung to throw across, and Como makes the play. Big time double play for UMass Boston to get out of the jam without any more runs scoring. We head to the bottom of the 9th. The Beacons will bring up Herrera, Kites, and Q, looking to get something going against Terry Murray.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Bottom of the 9th inning, Terry Murray looking for his first collegiate complete game. He had thrown into the 7th in 2 of his first collegiate starts, but the second-year freshman, well, this would be his pièce de résistance. He has been so good in this game. Look at the numbers on Murray. Just 82 pitches coming into the 9th. 2 runs, 2 earned, 9 hits, 3 strikeouts, has not walked a batter. Has allowed a pair of extra base hits, but has not given the Beacons anything on the scoreboard since they took a 2-0 lead in the 3rd. First pitch to Ethan Herrera, in there for strike 1. Herrera came in as a defensive replacement in right field, 0 for 2. Isaiah Rivera, the backhand, the throw across, and it's there in time to beat the speedy Herrera for out number 1 of the 9th, as Ethan's still looking for that first collegiate hit. Brings up Nico Kites, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Grounded out to second to end the 2nd. Single to right center in the 4th. And flew out to center in the 7th. Breaking ball misses well outside, 1-0. Beacons are actually out hitting Rhode Island College 9-8. Obviously, they could be more productive offensively. 9 hits and just the 1 run. Been unfortunate. A couple of good defensive plays by Rick. There was the ball that still not quite sure if it was hit over the fence or off of the fence by Curtis Tyrone in the 8th inning. That could have been a solo homer. Kites takes it high, 3-0. And the Beacons have left some guys on. Runner at 3rd with 1 out in the 3rd with a chance to expand their lead. 2 on in the 4th with 2 out. Really, since then, though, Murray hasn't let UMass Boston amass any kind of rallies. It's 3-1 here to Kites with Thomas Q on deck. Q is having himself a tremendous day. 3 for 3 with a pair of doubles and a run scored. 3-1 pitch to Kites, hit over to Zincone, makes a diving stop, throw across. It's off the bag, but Perillo able to stamp his foot down. And Terry Murray is 1 out away from a complete game conference victory. Got to give his infield a lot of credit. They have played well behind him. Zincone, Rivera, and Vigent have all made some nice plays. And at first base, Perillo has done a good job of coming off the bag or coming up with some scoop. Brings up Q, the junior out of Shrewsbury, looking for, well, he's already got his first career 3-hit game. In fact, he had his first career multi-hit game, and now he's looking for 4 hits. The 1-0, that is low, 2-0. Q to be followed by Ryan Leung if it gets there. Leung, the Beacons junior second baseman out of Brookline, came on defensively for Jason Sullivan in the 8th inning. 2-0 pitch, misses high, 3-0. Let's see if Murray gives Q anything to hit. There's no reason not to try to challenge Q with an 8-run cushion and just 1 out left in this ball game. 3-0 2Q, taking all the way, 3-1. Chopped over the shortstop. Rivera makes a great play on the low hop to throw across in time. And that is an apt way to do it. Terry Murray with some great infield defense behind him. And that will end this contest at Monon Park. Rhode Island College snaps a 3-game losing streak against the Beacons. Just their second win over UMass Boston in the past 13. They earn a 10-2 victory to move to 11-8 on the season and 5-3 in conference. With the loss, the Beacons fall to 2-2. 2-2 in conference play. Take a quick look at the highlights from this one, and then we'll wrap it up here at Monon Park. The final score from Monin Park: Rhode Island College wins 10-2 behind a complete game shutout from freshman pitcher Terry Murray, as the Beacons out-hit the Anchormen 9-8, but some walks, some hit-by pitches ultimately cost the Beacons. I'd like to give a shout-out to our production crew who did a tremendous job. It was a nice day to start, but windy and cool as the day went along. My name is Seth Lorenzi, your producer and play-by-play guy. Allie Crawford directing and doing instant replay. Gina Albano on graphics. Our camera operators, Katie Wilbert, Addie Buddington, Sarah St. Serene, and Victoria Kennedy. That'll do it from Monin Park. We'll be back on Saturday with a doubleheader at noon and 3 as the Beacons take on intrastate rival UMass Dartmouth here on the Little East Conference and Beacons Broadcast Network.